Let's
We're
get
up
nutty.
to.
Put your hands in the air.
Music we don't own the rights to?
Yeah. Well, we're going to talk about concerts today, and we just can't play you any of those concerts. Sorry, folks, but look at Big Jim over there. I can tell you one of the concerts he's been to, Kid Rock.
Yeah.
Got that shirt right off the tour.
I did, you little son of a gun, trying to claim or get people going that I ordered this off the internet as a secondary item. Nope, bought live.
Is that
DT.
one of 15 shows in a row?
I went to
$5
one
a seat.
of the 12 shows he hosted in a row.
Boom. How was that?
He was sponsored up by all liquors imaginable. Those tents were everywhere. Jim Beam, Jack, Red Dog, beer.
Tito's.
Well, he was selling his own beer there, wasn't he?
Yeah, what's he own? Red Dog? What's he have now?
No, he
Dog?
has a Kid Rock beer.
Yeah, it's Mad Dog or something.
Oh, okay.
A Clarkston Mad Dog.
Yeah.
Malt liquor.
Well, we got the doghouse in the house tonight. Big Iggy smashing and bashing Clay over there.
Oh yeah, working.
Hot out the studio.
Just making stuff.
Yeah, it's a time to create.
Come true.
What are you working on over there?
Just a jelly bean. Time for Easter. Just trying to get ready for the Easter release date.
Yeah, that's when the world opens up again, apparently. According to Trump.
Book your tickets and hotel rooms now, dude. Let's book our hotel rooms now.
It's gonna get crazy out there. I like those jelly beans. Everybody, check out artbyiggy.com. He's got some good stuff up there.
Corona-free website and artwork.
I told the guy not to say the fucking word within the first 2 minutes. He's dropping bombs.
Ah, fuck.
We're going with it now, man. We're going with it now.
Forgot about the buy rules.
We're not going to edit that.
For people that don't know, Art by Iggy, he makes different types of clay stuff. How long does it take to make one of those jelly beans?
3 weeks in quarantine. It'll be 3 weeks.
It takes 3 weeks to make one of those?
Yeah, that's an extension. That's just try not to undersell myself over here. You know, if I told the people that make it in 7 minutes, we're going to lose a lot of clientele.
Well, 15 years to get it to I was going to say 15 years to get it down to 7 minutes. So
get it down to a science. We're going to be going live.
This motherfucker. We're live.
Stock options available.
Thank God we aren't live. But we're talking concerts today. What's the first concert you guys ever been to? We'll start with Big Jim over there.
My mom and her fiance at the time, Jerry, 96 Bridges Over Babylon, Rolling Stones, Palace of Auburn Hills. First concert I ever went to. I was 14.
Boom, that's an expensive ticket.
Yeah, that's why it was nice. $150 back then. 96, $150. And but you got to remember, my dad was in the ticket business, so he had a couple Italian connections in the system there that hooked us up. Also, the first time, side fact, might get edited out, might stay in. First time I smoked weed in front of my mom because this dude in front of me turns around mid-show, lit joint, and doesn't realize I'm 14. And I look at my mom with the most, should I? Is this the time I try this for the first time? And my mom's like, that's marijuana. I go, what? What is it? It's not nicotine? And then I hand it back to the guy, and she goes, that was weed. I go, wow, what will happen? And she's like, just enjoy the music. And
Did you get high for the first time? Because I smoked, and I didn't get high the first time I smoked.
It wasn't the first time I ever smoked weed. That was at Pine Top skiing. This was just the first time in front of my mother.
Right.
14 years old, caught her off guard. But I remember when we drove home that night, she goes, let's keep that kind of stuff at the shows.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I mean, she's pretty hip. She knew that it wasn't that big of a deal. Yeah.
Now she's smoking at home and shit. I thought that was supposed to stay at the shows.
It really was a springboard for his whole life.
I got an addictive behavior.
It was a gateway drug for the family.
This woman knew I had an addictive behavior, so I just went to shows every night.
Well, that's good that you actually said that was the first show you went to with your mom, because I have two categories of my first show too. But before I get into that, what about you, Big Egg?
Oh, first show I went to was probably a Sting concert with my folks when I was way too young. Probably like, let's say early 90s, late 80s. Crazy. Sting.
Sting, wow.
That guy? You remember that guy?
Yeah, that was back when music was good.
Roxanne.
He was singing that right to your mom, wasn't he?
Iggy, come in the bedroom.
Yes.
I wanted you to come to the Sting show.
So you,
that was Sting solo stuff. Fields of Gold, some more garbage like that. I like Sting though.
No, real talented.
Well, again, compared to the stuff today, the guy's a fucking genius. Well, he was pretty good, but
he was
compared to the
too,
stuff today. My first show was 311.
Oh God, we just lowered the bar, folks.
Hey, I didn't even know what I was getting into. Plus, when I was a kid, I was just starting to get into music. I was listening to 89X, and they were played quite
Rolling
often.
Stones. All right,
Yeah.
Sting.
311.
Okay, I can see 311. Shut the fuck up and get out of here. That's cool.
Yeah.
You remember it, isn't that? That's why that I really think that should be a security question for me instead of what my first pet's name was or where I fucking went to middle school.
Yeah.
I'll be able to tell you to the day I die. Rolling Stones 96, Bridges Over Babylon. Because now we all love music, and it led to that. You know, seeing this shit live, you go, holy fuck, there's a whole nother level of this. Forget the quality of CD or versus cassette or what was going on in the battle there, you know?
Yeah.
That was the first time.
Hell, dude, Mick Jagger, fucking, he was 70 then or some shit, bouncing around like a ping pong ball.
He was a young buck back then.
Right. Still
That was also the first time. That was also the first time James ever left the house. 1996.
A real recluse.
Look at this hand-rolled cigarette, Mom. I'm gonna hit it.
So yeah, I mean, it was fun because it was the first time I was ever at Pine Knob. It was my first concert. It was 311. It wasn't as bad as it could have been, but
they were big. Anyways, they probably sold out.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but the first concert that I really consider my first one was Phish, 1999, which we were gonna base this whole episode on.
97?
No, 99, my friend.
They came back in 99. I don't know that I went to that show. Did I go to that one?
That's the problem. The whole episode was based on our experiences going to the show together, yet Jimmy had the wrong show altogether.
No, you kept saying 99, but both Iggy and Brian don't think there was a 99 show.
There was December 2nd, 99. If you want me to, I might put the ticket stub in as a little treat for the viewers. But no, they did play in 97 as well. I think they had one of the best tweezers.
Yes, that's turned to Isabella. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. So, why don't you get into your little your Phish story? We all have our own stories.
What ruined the 99 talk? We ended up realizing that I may or may not have been at that show.
Yeah.
Was I at that show, Iggy? I'm pretty sure I was. I wasn't at 96. That I know for a fact.
I don't know why we wouldn't have been at the 99 show, but
I know Rob was there.
The only reason we wouldn't have is if we were going to the Went, but I'm pretty sure because of the experience in 97, how I felt I missed out on some hot shit, that I was like, we got to do this in 99. I want to say that's when your mom, maybe, what year was it your mom gave me, that was way newer, when your mom gave me those tickets?
That was at Kobo.
Oh, Kobo.
What did they play in 99? How'd the set list look?
It was sweet. Well, I have my own stories. I don't know if we want to jump ahead, but I might as well just jump right in. I only was allowed to stay for the first set because during intermission, some hippie was so high on acid he thought he literally could fly, and he jumped off. This was at the Palace of Auburn Hills. He jumped off where the scoreboard is.
I was at this show.
Yeah, this guy plummeted, and me, my sister, and my cousin Nick, and one of my sister's friends, we witnessed this guy plummet. And
Remember
it's
Iggy? He
really,
jumped off the thing and died.
I don't know. I actually think he survived because I was on a AOL chat room, a Phish chat room on AOL, and they said that he actually survived. But
Okay.
yeah, it freaked out the whole crew I was with, and my sister demanded we leave. But I missed some serious good tunes that night. But again, I never even heard of Phish, so this is my first experience going to see a band like that where it's more improvisational based and things like that. The crowd is just very electric and everybody's all pumped up. And it was one of the first times I ever smoked pot too. So the combining the drugs and the atmosphere and the climaxing of the music, let's just say I was hooked ever since.
You don't know what songs they played to open it up or anything?
I do. First tune was a Runaway Jim. It was a
Yeah, I remember
good
this,
version of
dude.
that.
We were sitting hot. We had good seats for my pops, I believe, if I'm correct on this. And when they opened up with Runaway Jim, and I went fucking ape shit because I had just gotten in, and because of my experience with '97, and then we had the Great Went, then the experience '97 at the Palace, and then kind of cold for a little bit, and then all of a sudden this Palace show came, and it was the unleashing because prelude of how the '97 show ended for me.
The anticipation really got to you.
Well, let's just say you weren't the only one that heard a show from the parking lot.
Yeah, I remember after that guy jumped off the balcony, we were walking out and they literally came right back on stage as we're walking out, and I hear him firing up Boogie on Reggae Woman, and it was a heartbreak to me because every time I would walk past one of the aisles where you could see into the concert venue, I could see people just going nuts and the lights activating again. It was a sinking feeling, but I gotta feel pretty good because I got to witness something. You know what I'm saying?
That's how I look at it, and the whole story added to it. That's part of your story. That's why you'll never forget that to the day. This dude jumped off the balcony or something, fell or whatever he was doing.
He dove, man. This guy had his hands over his heads like he was gonna dive into some kind of magical swimming pool.
Oh.
But it was seats that was the pool.
That's when the good ass was around.
Yeah, that was where the good blotter was flowing.
Made people a believer. Made people believe again.
This shit made you believe you could swim in seats.
In the air.
In the air.
Nobody knows that I can do this, but I can fly.
Right.
See you, Tony.
Later, Jimmy. But a couple other highlights.
At the bathroom.
A couple other highlights from that first set were, I think they Runaway Jim, Run Like an Antelope, and that was when I had my first like climax experience at a show. And when I say climax, I don't mean I came, but I was close. My brain came.
Mm-hmm.
It was a nice. I mean, you gotta put it in perspective for someone who's never listened to Phish. I never listened to jam bands. I really didn't even understand what improvisational music was. So I get thrown into the mix. My aunt was telling us, don't eat the ganja goo balls before we left. I didn't even know what a ganja goo ball was, but sure enough, as we hit that lot, ganja goo balls, everybody's yelling it. So that was the first thing where I kind of realized that I was stepping into territory that I had no clue what was about to happen. I mean, the parking lot scene.
Show.
No, this is no 311 show. This isn't rock rap, my friends.
Phish close to home has a different feeling, especially the parking lot, because when you're out on someone else's turf, you're almost like absorbing, like
it's an energy thing. That's for sure.
Yeah, energy thing, and like just a different feeling when you're at your home. I mean, we had been to the Palace how many times? At least I had. You were a little bit younger, Kevin. How many times I've been to the Palace prior to the Phish shows, where it was like, okay, here's my home base. Holy shit, who are all these out of towners? Yeah, the goo ball guys, the grilled cheeses, the beers, the bongs, everything. It was, but it felt like you're on my turf now. I got run of the land, and everyone's wearing Red Wing stuff and Tigers gear, and just a different feeling. It was always cool seeing that stuff from other shows, because you'd be like, what up, Doe? Tigers, go Wings.
Right.
That was always cool to shout out, but it had a different energy feeling, especially walking the lot when you were at home shows. And
was that the show that you left early, or was that the 97 show?
so good interlude into 97, Phish, known for their tweezer, I believe we were talking about earlier, goes into Isabella.
Do you know the actual date?
December 6th.
12/6.
Yeah, December
Okay.
6th, 97. They had done late November show in 96, but I believe I missed that one and made up for it. Went to 97, went with some buddies of mine, including Iggy, buddy of ours, Chris, Red, fucking Bobby Budnick. And we stumbled into some parking lot dry goods that got us on a different mental energy. So we're in the show, and I mean, talk about mentally exhausted. By the time set one starts, we're at our seats. We have really good seats. I want to say 6th row, 7th row, something like that. And I look over, and my buddy's like literally starting to like fade into the neighbors that we're sitting next to. So I grab him. I'm like, "Yo, Bud Nick, what's up, bro?" I'm like, "Got to get up a little bit now." So then this music starts. We start getting mind instantly just into Antelope, I think was the second song, dude. This thing just got you going instantly. I'm already got enough mental energy for 10 grown men. Yeah. And so
here's the set list. I found the set list. I don't know if this is popping up on your screen, but
yeah, good share.
Yeah.
Run Like an Antelope. Okay.
Yeah, no, you were spot on.
Yep.
What's the 99 set list?
We'll get there, buddy. Calm down.
Okay. I know he's missing this fucking thing hard.
Keep making those clay logs, my friend.
Those words.
They burn longer.
Iggy logs. You heard of Lincoln.
What a show! This is a dream. So, did you hear this? The sound check?
Yes. That's when we started going nuts, and then we go into set one. And by Bathtub Gin, we're sitting down. We're going down a real dark rabbit hole, and I'm watching my buddy basically pass out. And I'm freaking out mentally. Music becomes
the Budnick character who was passing out.
That's the Budnick that's like phasing down into his neighbor and like not coherent where he's at. And some of our first experience with that level of mind stimulants. So I'm grabbing him. I'm like, dude. So by the time Catherine comes, we have been through such a mental Olympics that we think the show's over. And you got to remember, there's not cell phones on our hips like there are now. I had a pager because I was into extracurricular activity at that point already. So I was getting pages in high school, but not many people had a pager, and it wasn't popular then. Nobody had a smartphone. You weren't just texting people. You weren't just this. So you got Iggy and I are separated. Iggy's with the other group of my friends that went, and it's Budnick, me, and I want to say Mike Alvin or someone else with us there.
Donkey Lips.
Brian.
Was it Brian with Budnick? And I thought you were with the Brian group.
Well, I think you and Brian were, as I recall. Keep going, but I think it was Brian, you, and Budnick.
So I believe that the whole show's over after the end of Cavern, after the end of the set. So we all were like, we'll meet him at the car. Like, we'll definitely be at the car. So we just blast out. Meanwhile, the security guard goes, you can't come back in. I go, why the fuck would I want to do that? Deuces.
Yeah.
Walk out. So now I'm in the parking lot. Nice shot of coffee there, Ignace. So I'm in the parking lot. We go to the car. After about 20 minutes, we're like, where the fuck are these guys, dude? Fucking idiots. They're still in there. Now we hear set 2 blast up. We go, what the fuck? We start running to the doors. We get up there. We're like, all right, we kind of fucked up here. He's like, what's up, guys? We're supposed to be inside the show. Obviously, you see the wristband. He's like, what'd I tell you guys when you left? We're like, we kind of fucked up. We didn't realize the show wasn't over. Our boys are in there. He's like, tough luck, guys. We're like, damn. We go back to the car. For some reason, we had not for some reason, we were big into rollerblading at that time, so we had our rollerblades in the trunk.
Jesus.
So we go, fuck it, dude. If I'm going to be on this mind stimulant and I'm stuck in the parking lot, I'm putting my rollerblades on to rollerblade the parking lot. Well, we're rollerblading in the parking lot. We got into some dirty thoughts hit our head. Let's start checking door handles and see which ones are open.
Oh my
So,
god.
not the best way to show your
This is not the
integrity.
Phish code of fucking honor, I'll tell you
It was
that.
not a very good integrity check. I failed immensely. Did not steal an item. We ended up finding one car door open. It was a gorgeous BMW 750. We were like, holy shit, dude, this guy's gonna have some good shit. We popped the center console, radar detector, all this cool shit. We're like, oh, I go, bro, we can't take shit, dude. This car's so nice. He goes, let's get out of it. We closed up the center console. We get out. We stole nothing. Swear to God on my life.
That's who you want to steal from, not the hippies that have nothing.
Well, we didn't steal from anyone that night. So we're rollerblading around. We find this bum that's collecting cans. He's like, you guys got any blunts? I got weed. I just don't have a way to put it in something. Bam. Found our homeboy there. Yes, we do, sir. So we get out some papers, not a blunt, roll up a couple joints, smoke with this guy. He's telling us stories about how he's always in the Palace parking lot during the show. We're like, sweet. We go rollerblade around. Fast forward, it felt like 10 minutes. These guys walk out, show's over. They're like, dude, that show was fucking sick. Chris and I are like, that show was fucking sick. But we saw it from completely different angles, and I don't know that I got my money's worth as far as it goes to seeing Phish.
Yeah, you know what? Now that I'm looking at the set list, I kind of understand why you left, because you probably heard the sound check thinking that was set 1.
Yes.
Which is 5 songs.
When we ran to the door for Tweezer, we literally were saying, holy shit, they're doing another encore. We thought that they had gone into an encore for Tweezer. And once it went on for 15, 20 minutes, we're trying to argue with the security to get back in. We realized, holy fuck, dude. We fucked up somehow, some way. But to be honest, we were kind of glad to get out too, man. I mean, we were having almost a bad trip. Like, it was getting weird inside, and I think splitting up as a whole group, we went there with a lot of people, but we all had seats all over. It just, you didn't know your neighbors. I don't know what it was. I was young and dumb. Call it what you want, but we walked right out the front door like idiots.
So was that your first Phish show?
No.
Oh, well, what would you see before that?
Montreal.
The Great Went.
Oh yeah, the Great Went was the month before. That's right, idiot. The Great Went was my first show.
So that was the one that's in the movie, right? Bittersweet. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it is.
Yeah,
that's supposed to be some of the best stuff too. You know what I'm gonna do later? I'm gonna pull up that show from '97 because my sister was there, and she said it was unbelievable. I think it was her first experience, not the Great Went, the '97 Palace show.
Yeah. The Great Went was a month before that. It led into that. It was an unbelievable year for Phish. But the Great Went was my first, and then we came back into Detroit, and obviously we're lucky enough Phish was coming there. And like you said, Great Went was my first Phish show. Never knew of jam bands or I thought Grateful Dead was like hard rock or something just because of their name. I was too young.
That's what a lot of people thought. Then they hear it and they're like, "What is this?" You go, "It's the Grateful Dead." They think it's like death metal or some shit.
And is addicted to them now. So yeah, it's
How old were you when you went to the Great One? And did you have parent chaperones?
Iggy's mother. Mother was great.
Nice.
I believe that's the first time she saw us smoke weed.
Yeah. Well, it's inevitable there again. If my kids are gonna say I'm gonna drink or smoke or whatever, I'm gonna pick the pot before.
We felt better at hiding it than we were, like at rest stops and shit, because we went on this full road trip with her. We went to Maine. Oh wait,
yeah, that's where it was. It was
Canada.
in Maine.
We went to Toronto first, right? Is that the same trip with Toronto?
No. Boy, you got your memories all jacked up.
I was going to say, this guy's a perfect example of why you shouldn't be smoking marijuana.
Yeah, like this guy.
That's long-term memory.
99.
I've smoked my long-term memory gone, boys. That's hard to do.
Just wrapped it all up into one tour, your whole life. All on one. 97. And then I went to this show.
When you go to a bunch of shows, though, they kind of do meld together. It happened to me, especially when I was playing in a band, where I think back and it's hard to decipher which night was which, because it's just like all one big show, really. But, you know, there's definitely moments that stick out than others. But it's hard to pinpoint. I mean, I've seen probably 20 or so Phish shows, and it's hard for me to really specifically go into detail. When we went to I actually got the luck to go to the It Festival. That was the last one they had in Maine, and they played a Ghost there, which was like supposed to be one of the biggest glow stick wars ever. But it's just because of how many people are actually there at the show. So there's a part of me which I wish I would have saw more, but at the same time, I couldn't really see that much. I was young. I think the first show I went to, I was 14. I was a freshman in high school, so I know people that saw the Dead and stuff. I mean, you would have been right at that cusp, 1995.
Yeah, hindsight, I was pissed because we had an opportunity in '94, I believe it was, to see them. And hindsight, it sucked, but you know, I didn't even know who they were when it was the opportunity to see them. So I remember my uncle or my dad invited me or something. I said, no, I don't know. No, I don't want to see them.
Yeah,
I don't like that kind of music.
My older cousin Rob's brother, he saw the Dead, Pink Floyd, and Phish. Pink Floyd with Roger Waters, so he's got quite the array of show. But
my mom's friend is I had such an opportunity and didn't even know it, was set designer for Pink Floyd, lived in London for multiple tours. And my mom was like, yeah, we asked you when you were young if you wanted to go backstage for Dark Side of the Moon tour. I was like, what? I go, I'm an idiot if I said no to that. I go, I didn't know what I was saying no to.
Do you guys know who Pat
Maybe
Metheny
it was Paul's.
is?
Maybe it was Paul's. I don't know if I recognize the name or not.
He's a jazz musician. He's pretty well known in the jazz community. But
I've seen Pat Metheny.
He's sweet. My one of my good friends' mom used to work for a radio station, and she used to get us like really good seats. Like we'd sit in the orchestra pit and stuff because it was for her company. And we saw him at the Fox, and we got invited to go backstage. We ate a couple edibles. I was like, I don't want to go back there. I had that kind of that scared feeling. I'm not a big edible guy myself, so I don't like that stuff. It's too scary.
It's a lot like other drugs that are powerful where you can't tell what it's going to do to you. You know, you're kind of sight unseen going into it.
And you got to wait, and then it doesn't wear off, and it's just a mess. But who wants some edibles, ladies and gentlemen?
Edibles are the only thing that, out of the weed category, that have ever had me rolling around asking God to please not make me high anymore.
I've been more scared off of cannabis edibles than like mushrooms or something in that regard. But again, I think maybe with the mushrooms, I just treat them a little more with respect, so I don't go nuts with those. The cannabis stuff, I was tweaking the recipe a long time ago with one of my ex-girlfriends, and I kept just making different batches, and I'd be sampling them and trying, and they were always really weak. And then this one time we made a batch, and we went for a walk, and we got home, and this girl was freaking out. She wanted to make herself throw up. She said she was downloading information into her brain and stuff. And I was like, don't throw up. It's already in your system. You throwing up is just going to put you into a worse state of mind. So go lay down. I went and watched a movie, and she said she was downloading information into her brain.
Iggy had experiences where when he threw up, it was a harder mind experience.
Ooh, well, maybe. That was good that she didn't do that too, then.
Right, because it comes back. The juices come back up now and get double dip your esophagus.
And you wonder if you should swallow this. Should I swallow this back again, or am I going to lose everything?
Yeah, it's like drinking bong water. I don't want to waste this THC.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's all I paid for, and I need it.
Right. Back then, that shit was expensive, man. 400 an ounce. You got the BC bud. Remember that stuff?
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah. That's all I smoked. I'm just kidding.
Well, so you guys both went to South. I heard you could just smoke pot freely in the hallways there. Very laid back atmosphere.
Oh yeah. We had pot smoking in the hallways. You guys had pedophiles. Isn't that how it went?
Well, we had more of an Italian groups.
Oh, calm down. We had some good representation over at South. I hate that little acronym. You guys had the little. Don't put yourself in that category. You had the slime balls of the day.
I was never
big shout outs to know the slime balls over there.
Listen, they used to yell that shit at the sporting games, dirty hippie and stuff, and I'd be like, hey man, I wish I went to South, because I had my cousin that went there, And I listened to all that kind of music. So I think we talked about this before, but I'd go to a party and I'd play like Phish, and people would literally flip out because they just wanted to hear that rap, which is fine, but you know.
Yeah, no, North was good. My sister went there, obviously. I like it.
I mean, both schools are what they are. You're gonna have people of all different people coming together, but it was funny how the majority of people really did fall into those stereotypical things where most people I knew from South were into more of the hippie-ish style music, and then more people from North were more, you know, of the Italian descent, which you're an Italian, but they were more into the rap and the thug type stuff. Maybe it's because we're closer to 8 Mile. I don't know.
I mean, I was such a genre guy though. I was all over the board.
I think it's the 8 Mile
driving.
Yeah,
but
which
Phish,
I'm right
like
off 8 Mile, man. I should be the biggest thug you've ever met.
You are one of them.
Yeah, baby.
Rap concerts though were poop, bro. You can't go to those. They suck. Those guys, like we've done with the Hoagie Brothers, you can't perform this shit live the same way you can edit it. It's just hard. You got to be like Mick Jagger, talented as fuck. I mean, bottom line, to be able to bounce around like that.
A lot of these new bands are just massively overproduced people that you listen to a Britney Spears, you know, the original take she did with no auto-tune. Sounds like a fart coming out of my ass.
I'd like to eat it.
A real squeaker.
Love Brett.
Well, you said you would suck a fart right out of her ass, so we'll keep you to that.
Yeah.
Yeah, Iggy, what's your perspective on 97? You saw it from a different seat, same show, rode in the same car there. Talk to me. What do we think there? We were on the same mind experience.
Yeah, I lost everybody who I was with and forgot where I was supposed to be sitting. So now I was just walking around. And I saw some guy who was running around naked at the show get obtained by the police in there. And there's a big mob gathering with this dude in the middle.
Beautiful.
Where was that? Near the concession? Near the concessions? Or where was that at?
It's in like the walk around corridor around the arena. And there's like a big gathering of people. And I just was like, oh, is that where I need to be? And then I look in there and see this dude getting lambasted by the cops, just getting his ass handed to him, and he's nude. Then I found somebody who I did know and went to go sit with them. And another crucial part of the show, we were smoking a big ball of hash, and it fell out of his pipe onto this fleece. And so he gave me this fleece that had like a quarter-sized hole burned through it. And he's like, I can't bring this home. So I inherited a new piece of clothing that night, too.
Nice.
Yeah.
I actually had a run-in with
found you guys.
I had a run-in with a naked concert goer when I was at Bonnaroo. I was just walking back from a show, and this guy, he was pretty close to us. He goes, "I'm sorry," and I look over at him. This guy is naked as a jaybird, and he was just standing there telling people he was sorry. It's like, what the? I mean, it's an interesting atmosphere, to say the least. If you haven't been to anything like that, ladies and gentlemen, we suggest you go and just hold on tight, because you're gonna have a wild ride.
Not literally. Keep the naked. Don't hold on tight to the naked guys. Now
he's sorry. That's all.
Let's think about Phish. Like, they come off stage, like show after show, and you said with your musical days and in the band, Kevin, that it's hard that it all gets blended together. Think about how many shows they've done. It's asinine. But they must come out after the show and be like, all right, tell us what happened out there. Well, we had a naked guy in 316A trying to get a beer. He must have been out of his gourd.
He was uncircumcised.
We had a guy think he could swim in midair for 30 feet. He fell, hit his head on the fucking chairs.
Gravity
that was section
took its toll.
216A. They go, shit, man. Should we
remember we all went to the, I don't know if it was the last Phish. I think it was actually the last Phish show in Michigan. We got that. Yeah, that was a good time.
Yeah, that was the party bus, loving.
We were totally sober too.
I was too sober.
Right. I was so sober I was high, you might say.
Yeah. But that was a good time. My sisters were there. First show I saw with them. Last show I saw with them.
Oh, I just remember your sister running full bore down the hill and then like into the railing or something. I just remember it was a bunch of side news. I was like, what's going on? I was like, I can't handle that right now. I just got to focus on the show.
Yeah, I think we lost each other, but there were so many people from our high school that were there. So it was.
Your cousin was there. Shout out to Mind Escape, Maisie.
Yep. Yeah, they played twice at Pine Knob. I was at both those shows. But you guys were talking about that Kobo show, right? On the rooftop.
I didn't go to that. I got James tickets for it. Unfortunately.
Dude, where was it at? Kobo on the rooftop.
It wasn't on the rooftop.
No, it's like called the Kobo Roof Zone or whatever. Let me look this fucker up.
2010, I want to say.
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah, Iggy called me, or he was in Omaha, and I was like, dude, we got to go to the show. And he was like, I can't, but my mom's got tickets. All you got to do is pick them up. I was like, what? Yes.
How does your mom get tickets?
Choice. Good question. I think someone she worked with, their son or something was like in charge of the Phish memorabilia apparel thing, and they got tickets, and so it was an easy thing. And what we really missed out on was the idea that this dude had an attic full of dry goods that we could have a pick at, and we never took advantage of that.
Oh my God, and those posters are worth so much now, dude. I did some research the other day, even just because I checked mine. You can see in the background there from 2000 with Iggy, where I went to, the Everglades. But I got a little Phish poster collection, as Kevin's seen and Iggy's seen, and I watch these things all the time. They're almost like my stock.
Yeah.
But the new ones
might be worth more than stock at this point.
Well, dude, this Pollock I have is great, but the 99, my gem is the real gem is the one I have made from 2000 that has the wristband and the ticket in it, because it's kind of one of a kind. So I can't get the appraiser wouldn't give me a value on it, because he's like, it's literally whatever someone will pay, because it's the whole show conglomerate. It's like there's nothing online or something that has it. Now people have done it and it's sold. There's $5,000, $6,000 ones that have sold. He's like, if someone gave you 10 grand, it wouldn't blow my mind. It's how bad they want that fucking collection. They want the ticket, the wristband, and the billboard for it. So.
Yeah, that's sweet. Is that what's right behind you?
No, the one that's behind me is about 1,500. Could be 2 G's the way I have it framed.
Yeah, it's tough to gauge that stuff though. They're like baseball cards. One year they might be worth millions. The next year it might be worth a cent. It's really, well, that's like anything in life. It's like art. What people pay for it bumps it up. Like that jelly bean we're looking at right now. That's a $1,500 piece right there. Fucking thing's rare.
You bet your ass. That's one of a kind, handmade, hand molested.
It's called the Cadbury egg, baby.
It is. I'm getting ready for Easter over here. The Easter release date.
Are all those jelly beans the same price, or is there different levels?
Yeah, they're the same price as of right now. They're the same price, but there should be different levels depending on how thick they are. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, it's not all controllable too. It only is to a certain factor. How it fires and the glaze turns out is a determining factor in whether or not it's super badass or just tight.
We got to get him to make us some kind of fat earth symbol, clay.
Well, yeah. To bring it all back full circle, even though we're not done, the virus has really killed my buzz, because my mom got me as a present for my birthday this year 2 tickets to shout out Fat Earth, baby.
Boom.
I'll make that dude for you.
Look at those greasy fingers, man. He likes to slip them inside something.
That's glaze. That's clear coat.
Skin mitt.
But I was supposed to go in June to Comerica Park for the Rolling Stones this summer, which went in '96 with my mom last time I saw him, and she's like, I got us 2 tickets to Rolling Stones. I bought American Express offered to me, and I was like, oh hell yeah! I was like, let's bring this back full circle.
Yeah, that's a pricey ticket.
Yeah, $350 or so, $250 a ticket actually. $250. It's come up $100 in 24 years.
So that actually is a good lead into. I wanted to ask you guys, what's the best show you've ever been to? Think about it for a second. For me, I've had a couple of different experiences, but I went to this. I actually got tickets to a Jack White show for free. My one buddy couldn't go, so me and my other friend Chuck, one of Samsonelli's guards, we went to the show. We're hanging out outside, and I'm not like a crazy Jack White fan, but I had the tickets, and we were literally about to sell them because the show was sold out. It was at the Masonic Temple, which I think he owns a piece of now. But perfect spot for that vampire ass. And we're sitting outside waiting to get in. People are like looking for tickets. They're offering like $200 a pop. So we literally considered selling them, but at that point we were already there, so we might as well go in. Doors open at 7:30. We get in there. We're having beers and shit. This fucking guy doesn't get on stage till 10:30 at night. It was like a Guns N' Roses type shit, man. The guy was waiting till the sun went down.
Don't touch your eyes.
Whatever, dude. I'm quarantined. It's fine. But yeah, it's surprising to me because I've had some really good shows going to Phish and stuff, but this Jack White show, he played 33 songs in a row. It was one massive set, and this place was just fucking rocking, man. And I'm a guitar player. I never really looked into Jack White. I mean, his stuff is good. I'm not saying it's bad or anything, but it's not like my fancy. I don't really like love the White Stripes or whatever, but this show was sick, man. This guy was melting face. He was playing amazing guitar solos and just an overall rocker of a show. So I wanted to pick something that wasn't, obviously that first Phish show propelled me to play the guitar. I got into improvisational music, so that one might have had like more of a long-lasting effect on me. But as far as a standout show, maybe because I was just a little more surprised with it. I wasn't expecting anything, but that Jack White show at the Temple was probably my best.
You said okay, so it's not best Phish show; it's best concert you ever been to.
Yes.
That Bridges to Babylon was a 3-hour Rolling Stones show. It was one that really set off where I was like, "Holy shit, these are what concerts are like." Because they didn't do sets. Rolling Stones went 3 hours straight. Everglades, where they went 9.5 hours or whatever it was, 7 hours, and that was like up there. Amazing one. I think all of my top 5 are some I've been to with Iggy for the most part. I would say that the AC/DC show we went to in 2014 was some of the best production / got me going. Like, I mean, by the end of it, you don't want to hear another arena rock song for a year. But
right
during it, I remember being like, this is fucking unbelievable. I can't hear anyone talk. They play so fucking loud. Yeah. They got the beginning is this train this animation that then mixes in with a fucking full-size train come blasting into the center of the stage. I mean, the production quality was off the fucking charts. So that was literally one of the best concerts I've ever been to, even though it's AC/DC. I don't know if you'd expect that, but they are one of my favorite bands, so maybe that goes hand in hand. But I'd never seen them. That was the second time I ever saw them. But I say with Phish, man, the great went, dude. I was virgin territory. My mind was blown. We had our whole area to roam. It was a 2-night show, or 3. Was it 3-night show?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, I think we were there for 2 though.
Yeah, okay, we missed the first night. Was that right?
Well, according to the movie Bittersweet, they said they played like shit the first day, and then the second 2 days it was some of the best Phish they've ever served up.
Well, I remember I had so much fun. We were 14, running on the loose. We were Iggy's mom was so cool to watch us, but allow us to have our own space, and we were just. It was just a blast. It was just virgin territory. I'd never seen anything like it. I'm roaming around on my own, buying weed or whatever I want. It was just unbelievable.
Well, this is a good PSA to
my mom also.
Parents.
Why? We all turned out good. Shows. We're all 6-figure money. We're all right.
Well, my mom had no idea what Phish was, so when I asked her to go, she's like, "Oh yeah, perfect." Plus, my dad got us the ticket, so you would assume that it's somewhat safe. It's just the Phish lot is just a whole nother universe, really.
Oh,
free trade market of drugs.
It is a free trade money in the fucking black market, dude. It was fucking
you could live for a
unbelievable.
year off that fucking jelly bean.
That's right. Trading it for veggie burritos. Trade those veggie burritos for some pale ales.
Yeah. What about you, Eggster? What was the best show you've seen?
Oh, I liked Big Cypress a lot. That was cool. Again, just kind of the running around, being in the Florida Everglades, nice climate. It was winter, but now we were somewhere super warm with a whole bunch of fish going on, and we were off. Also, that was late high school, so it was the first time we were really out on a big trip like that.
Yeah, you were seniors that year, right?
It was definitely the first time I'd been on any kind of trip like that by myself. Hell yeah, it was.
So that was super cool. The music and stuff, I don't necessarily know if it's my favorite music, but the whole environment from it was awesome. I like the
Agreed.
I like the 97 Palace show. I feel like that was a better show than musically than Big Cypress, but experience wise, Big Cypress was hands down hard to beat. Y2K was coming in, so we didn't know what was going to happen either when the New Year's hit. Everybody thought we might die. Everybody
but we felt
we
felt so far away from that, didn't we? So I remember like it didn't bother me. Like I was in the perfect atmosphere for Y2K at midnight because I was like, I don't give a fuck. I got 7 hours of great music coming. Yeah. Fuck the banks. I don't need the banks out in the middle of the fucking Indian reservation. Fuck off.
Yeah, no school on Monday.
Was that the case? Because we drove back like wombats. When did we have to be back to school?
No, that was over Christmas vacation for sure.
Yes, 100%.
Yeah, but I don't know. I feel like we drove in for school.
Right. Like we drove back in one straight shot, and James, I don't know why we
back.
Yeah, he always gives me credit because he went for the first hour and a half or so, and then he's like, I'm done. And we had not come off what we were experiencing yet.
Yeah.
So, but I was like, we got to get home. We got to get home. I told my parents we'd be home Sunday. We got to get home. He's like, we got 17 hours left, bud. Chill out. I'm like, I got it. And then literally I was waking him up at the front door, at my dad's front doorstep as I'm like, all right, dude, get your shoes on, bro. You got to drive. I'm home.
Damn, that's some Neil Cassidy type shit.
Best road trip I was ever on is when I was sleeping the whole time.
And I don't remember fuck all.
He slept off, dude. I fucking crashed when I got home. I'll tell you that. It took every eyeball muscle I had.
If anybody that's a Phish fan's listening, we've named some of the best highlights of the Phish's entire career. The Great Went obviously sticks out. That 97 Palace show for us being Michiganders, that's probably the best Phish show ever played in Michigan. Maybe there was some other stuff that happened when they were a lot smaller at the Hill Auditorium. If you listen to a live one, the Chalk Dust Torture off a live one actually went down, I think it was in 94 at Hill Auditorium. And if you've ever been to Hill Auditorium, it's where the male glee club sings for University of Michigan. I've seen a couple shows there. It's built sonically to be, you know, the acoustics in there are amazing is what I'm looking to say here. So that's
I saw Widespread Panic and someone else like Widespread Panic there. I'm trying to think of who.
String Cheese.
And String Cheese. Yeah, Widespread Panic and String Cheese for
sound nothing like each other, but they're jam bands, so we'll give you the pass.
Hash Bash. No, they were there for Hash Bash.
String Cheese is a good show.
They were a good show. They've been getting into this techno stuff. They've been trying to evolve their sound, and unlike Radiohead, it's just not working for them, in my opinion.
Oh, yeah.
See, but I always get so nuts at these shows that, like, the music is second. Like, yes, see, that's the thing. Like, you were saying all these shows meld together to me and you, and they 100% do for me because I come out of it, either I danced, I laughed, or I didn't have a good time at all, and the latter rarely has ever happened, and I can't even think in my head a time it has because the good times stuck out so much more. But I don't pinpoint it. I'm not the type of music listener where I pinpoint it down to, well, run in like an antelope, went into tweezer, went into reprise, went into this. I literally either I dance my ass off that song, or not. And like, so your cousin Mike is so different than me. Like, because the second a song starts, he's like, "Oh, dude, this is Antelope," and I'll be like,
Oh,
"All
you
right,
went to a
bro."
show with them before, yeah.
I'm like, "All right, bro, yeah, fuck yeah." But like, literally, it's just sound going like this in my brain that makes me have to move. And that's how, I guess, that's how barbaric I am with my music. It just, if it gets me to move like that, then I really like it, and it's great, and I have a fun time because I don't care. I dance like no one's watching, and I have a blast.
Well, bring that meme back, but yeah, no, it's a good thing to.
I
I
actually
think the
had a
whole point of.
shirt. I had a Tommy Bahama 100% silk shirt that said that I stole from Bavarian Village
And you
back in the
should have
day.
got your ass beat.
No, I got caught stealing it. I got caught.
Good.
My buddy put it into another shirt, and I go up to buy the one shirt, and his boss goes, "I'll ring him out." And Pat goes, "Okay." And he goes like this and pulls the shirt up, and the Tommy Bahama $100 shirt falls out. Dude, I love that
Nice.
shirt. How dare you?
Yeah, dance like no one's watching. Shut the fuck up.
That's how I do it, baby. Fucking man. Iggy's got
But
birds in the background. We got a real wildlife show going on outside there.
well, he's living on the island, man. No one knows really where he is. He just knows he's surrounded by water.
Yeah, he's about to be surrounded by more water. It sounds like the fucking water table's rising.
I think he's working on his own ASMR channel over there, squeezing fucking clay in his hands and shit. Sounds gushy.
To get rid of the virus, Wuhan dug a hole all the way and it popped out in the middle of Harbor Island, Detroit, and this thing's about to flood again.
It's flourishing down there.
It's flooding. Yeah, it is, unfortunately. In the heart of Detroit. This shit is thick.
They spread it all over a boat and sent it down the Detroit River.
When the virus scares first started out here, they're like, it won't make its way north. I go, you sound like an idiot.
Yeah. Depends on what host it's attached to.
It's not a black dude from the heart of Detroit. It's a fucking virus. It'll make its way out to the boondocks. You Michigan militia animals.
Plus, you're in a fucking apartment complex. That shit's probably gonna spread like butter.
Shut your mouth. Nobody's allowed in my crevice.
When I used to live in Troy, I walked out my door one day and this guy had a fucking sign on his door to his place and it says, quarantine whooping cough. And I was like, great. Now I'm gonna fucking, this guy's coughing whooping cough all over the place. I don't even know what whooping cough is. I've heard of it, but I thought it was like an ancient fucking disease that I'm pretty sure we've gotten vaxxed for that, but maybe we haven't.
Well, some of us missed the appointment, obviously. You know, these non-vaxxers, I wonder what they're thinking right now. They better not take any of my goddamn virus tests. These test strips better not be used by a non-vaxxer. You little fuckers.
That's right.
It's like ICP, baby. Whoop, whoop.
Yeah.
Speaking of ICP.
Vaxxers, existence.
Speaking of ICP, what's the worst show you've ever been to? I can lead off because Phil and Friends. Oh, that's a shot.
Once Bob Dylan took the stage, it was saying it's time to walk out. Sorry, Bob, you're making me mad. And one of the few times I've ever walked out on.
Funny enough, this Kid Rock show was amazing. Maybe top 5. I loved it. And Bob Seger, Palace was phenomenal. I love Bobby Seger. Worst shows. I'll say this. I had some of the worst time for about 2 minutes at the AC/DC show, which ended up a mega highlight. But in it, Iggy knows, these 2 dudes were off-duty cops, they told us, that were mad I was lighting a second joint. And the guy turns around. And then, so what had happened was, because of my dad's connections, he got 4 seats, but he spread them out where 2 in the middle weren't being used, and Iggy and I had the end cap seat. So we had 4 seats in a row, knowing 2 people were not going to be using the seats in between. So we had more room to fuck around. We weren't bumping elbows.
Right.
So my dad hooked me up on these seat positions, right, because of his position. So we knew we had these 4 seats. Well, these cocksuckers are right in front of us. They turn around. They're like, hey, don't light another fucking joint. I go, shut the fuck up. Watch the fucking band, but it fucking stuck in my head, and I was furious. This dude had the nerve to tell me what to do. But then they turn around and they go, oh, look, 2 open seats. And they come up to our row where this orchestrated 4-seat pattern was. And I was so livid for about 10 minutes. I was like so mad. I was like, I didn't even look at Iggy or say anything to him because it was so loud. AC/DC was playing, but I was 2 seconds from being like, get the fuck out of our seats, off-duty cops.
Was this at the Palace?
Yes.
Okay.
No, Comerica. Or Ford Field.
No, where was it? Yeah, Ford
Field.
Oh, this guy's jumping around cities. Didn't they tear the Palace down?
Baby.
Yeah. This guy doesn't remember fuck from anything. Great interview, bro. Great interview.
Silly putty. Oh, bullshit. I had details from the parking lot.
He had to call up Iggy as his assistant to fucking stroke the memory gene.
Try to trigger
100%.
that memory, see if he remembers.
So your worst show was what?
That was 1 second.
Wait, hold on a second. Let's get some of this ASMR in. It's called Bag Crunkle. Squeeze that shit up, baby. Let's get that juice.
The Bag Crunkle.
We got Chris fucking Crinkle over here. We'll get you a mic if you want to sit in on another one of these bad boys.
We'll get you a Wi-Fi connection.
Yeah. We'll upgrade you to 5G or something.
So, I wonder if his picture is going to pop in often.
Yeah. Oh, he's gone, man.
No!
Oh, there he is.
I'm here. I'm still here.
I thought we upset you to the point of you getting out, man.
Dude, that's like a rage quit in Xbox where you just
we're just joking.
Sunday leaves the party.
No, I was checking the Wi-Fi signal. I was checking the Wi-Fi signal is what I was up to.
We are a comedy group.
See.
We're trying to rip.
Keep on trying.
Iggy, check out my aloe plant. It fell over. So I got the baby, the daughter of the big dog. I got one daughter that remained. She's in there right in the middle, and she's gonna get big again. She's right in here.
Looks like my cock.
Skin mitt. It's small.
Yeah.
You're right. It's small right now, but it's gonna get big.
You gonna
One
use
of
that
these
human
days.
fertilizer on that bad boy?
It's a grower, not a shower.
Yeah, that's what I tell everyone.
At least who will listen?
Yeah. But so
Worst show. I bought myself enough time to think about it. Man, I don't know off the top of my head. I went to an orchestra where I thought Carmina Burana, where I thought it was going to be amazing because everybody knows the famous part of this orchestra, but it's about, I didn't know this, but I did after the show. It's about 20 seconds of the 2-hour show or 45 seconds. So that ended up being, well, it was amazing music, orchestra hall, and obviously big talent. I literally fell asleep in it until it kicked off with the fucking the big charade.
Beethoven's Fifth. Yeah.
Dun, 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 dun.
Yeah, I could see that if you're not prepared for something like that.
So I told my dad I want to go to this, but one of the worst shows. It had to be something at St. Andrews or something like that in the basement where it just ended up being a fuck fest. Afro Man down there or something, like some kind of 2002 Nelly in the basement of St. Andrews, hot steaming load of trash because they can't perform their fucking art without it being take after take the way I do,
Afro Man actually performed at Sinbad's one time. It was pretty crazy. He was playing the guitar. I thought it was gonna suck, but we know the owner.
I'm just
so we were
using
drinking
like
and shit.
2001, 2002. If I name my worst, it had to be something in the basement of. I never saw ICP, but it had to be something in the basement of St. Andrews.
It's kind of a loaded question too, because if you see a band, they could you see Celine Dion, she might be on top of her game, but if you don't like the music, you're not gonna enjoy the show.
Even then, I didn't like being in groups of people like that. I got claustrophobic with that many people. Like, so I was not. So it had to be something at St. Andrews because I remember always regretting going to a concert there and being like, "Fuck, dude, I hate 4 floors of fucking different bands and people. I can't stand this."
I've seen some good shows at St. Andrews. It's nice
I'm
and
sure. I
intimate.
just don't like it. It makes me nervous.
Yeah. The worst show I ever went to was actually a full weekend. It was Bonnaroo. It was the first year Phish ever played there. I'm gonna try and find when that was, but I went to Bonnaroo one time with my cousins, and it was fun, but it's really hot. It's hard to like pace yourself because you go to a concert, you dance, you sweat your balls off, and then you're just exhausted. So you could have a lineup of Ween, Phish, Grateful Dead. You could have the best lineup in the world, but you're not gonna be able to, unless you pace yourself perfectly. You're not gonna be able to even see all that shit. So what's the
It's
point of that?
talent.
I remember yeah, I mean, it's a good, it's like you get your money's worth if you can handle it. But
It's too
um,
much of your money's worth, to be honest. Now that I'm older, how I look at it, like going to those shows, spectacular, some of my best life experiences. But holy shit, does it take a lot out of you, and it's almost too much of a good thing.
right. Yeah, so I went there. I was already like, I wasn't in a very good place in my life. I actually went there. I thought I was gonna hook up with this girl the whole weekend, so I was kind of pumped up. But leading up to the trip, my grandmother was in the hospital. She wasn't gonna make it. She was like literally on her deathbed, and depending on when she passed away was gonna vary if I could go to the show or not. She ends up passing away, and I already had my ticket, $250 ticket. So her funeral was on Friday, and me and my cousin went to the funeral and literally from the funeral got in our car in our suits and drove straight to Tennessee because Phish was playing that night. At the same time, the Detroit Red Wings were playing Game 7 against, I think, the Avalanche. So they're playing for the Stanley Cup. We pull up to Bonnaroo. My cousin
What
texts me
wasn't
in the
the
car.
Avalanche if it was for the cup?
Oh, yeah. Remember
Continue.
we played? Remember
It
when we
might have
played
been
the same?
games.
Yeah, we
Pittsburgh
played.
Penguins,
Yeah, Penguins, exactly. That's who it was. So we beat them the
2009,
year before.
2010. Yeah, we beat
Okay,
them
so yeah, so
2008.
that I think it was 2010, and
Yep, it was.
we pull up. Cousin texts me, Fish, or I'm watching Sidney Crosby hoist the cup. So Red Wings lose. I used to be really into sports, especially hockey back then. So that was the first kick to the balls. Oh, the first kick to the balls when my grandma passed away. Second kick to the balls was we had to rush to even go to this show, which I wanted to see Fish really bad. Plus, this girl was going to be there that I had feelings for. Get to the show. Stanley Cup's gone. We finally we parked so far away because the festival's been going since Thursday. So we literally have a mile to walk to our campsite from the car. Get there, Phish is playing, awful set. It was probably the worst Phish set show I've ever seen in my life. It's only one set too, so that sucked. Fucking girl, I was trying to see her. We never really ran into each other. It was just an awful time, man. The heat, yeah, that takes the cake. But
There you go.
what are you gonna do? I swore after I went to buy, 04 or something that I would never go back. It's just you're on a farm, there's no shade, and it's literally in June, so you're on a farm in Tennessee in the middle of the summer. It's brutal.
Trust
Where
me
you
for
got it,
everything you
Eagle?
got.
Yeah.
It was
Worst
the Bob
concert.
Dylan show with Phil and friends.
Oh,
Phil
Oh
yeah.
yeah,
and
yeah, yeah,
Bob
yeah.
Dylan.
Guys watching a couple of
I
corpses smoking on stage.
made myself a little whiskey and Pepsi drink back when you could bring stuff like that inside. And
Yeah.
then I realized, dude, I don't even need this. I don't even want this drink. I want to leave. Sorry, Bob.
It's making it worse.
Yeah. This whole night is over, dude.
Yeah.
It's so funny when you make that choice, though, when you're like, oh, I spent money on this, but actually right now I'm happy going home.
This Molly can't even
leave.
fucking revive this thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
The first night of the Big Cypress, couldn't think of the name of the show. The first night, the second night was sweet. The first night though was one of the best fun I had at a Phish show. They were energetic and shit. I don't know how it's a rated set, but I know I had a bunch of fun because we had spent 17 hours in traffic. A lot had led up to that. It was our first time on the road. And I remember I was uncorked, like mentally fun wise for that night. And the second night was so tolling. Like you said, I mean, a 7 hour, 50-minute set list is just tolling on your body and your friendship and everything. We ended up splitting up and just hanging out by ourselves for a long time of that show. So it was amazing experience, but it wasn't my favorite show I've ever been to. It was a lot. It was a huge commitment individually just to do it, to stay up all fucking night was hard in its own right,
Oh yeah. Yeah, I'm sure you've had different bursts of energy, getting your second wind and stuff. Yeah.
Big time. And then to drive 17 hours straight after that was pretty unbelievable.
That's always a bummer.
Only times
we left instantly after the show ended. We left instantly. We packed up and went, or we were already packed and went.
I think we were already packed, and we just got in the car and made our way to the gas station to get some Gatorades, some trail mix.
No,
that's before Red Bull even existed.
No dose. We were already up on the no dose tip.
Yeah.
So we bought those pills. We would buy those gas station caffeine pills. Yeah. I was riding on a homemade blend.
I remember buying those when we went to it up in Limestone, buying caffeine pills, getting all cranked up.
Yeah.
That's all right. I can go to Starbucks nowadays and get a latte with an extra shot and feel the same buzz.
That's my addiction of choice, my friends.
How are you making it through the virus without any of these places kicking it?
Starbucks or caffeine?
Both.
You just had a birthday, bud. Happy birthday.
Oh yeah, happy birthday.
Thanks, man. It was a tough one, sitting around, not much to do.
Why? I'm just kidding.
People touch you, they die instantly.
You get a birthday spanking from everyone you know.
I had a customer today. I had to tell to back up. Get the fuck back, would you?
This guy coughed malaria all over me.
Oh, dude. I've been boisterous. They got it. Get them away from me. They got it.
I can tell by their eyes. They're scared too.
Yeah, those pale red eyes. Yeah, that's a sign. No, I loaded up with those. I don't know if you remember, Jimmy, those triple shot espressos. I got like literally 20 of these fuckers in my refrigerator. I went to Trader Joe's and loaded up.
Good move.
But nothing's going to last forever, so I got to drink them with caution.
Right. How you sitting with toilet paper?
We got a good handle on that.
Kevin's one of the guys that bought 9 pallets.
I didn't buy any of them. My roommate loaded up.
I'll
use my fucking hand if I have to. I don't give a shit. I'll jump right in the shower. I never really understood the problem out there. I'm a backpacker, so we go out into the woods. Of course, you bring a little toilet paper, but worst case scenario, you squat down by a little river and you got your own natural bidet.
Oh, I love bidets. I'm Italian. I'm European. I love bidets. My house, my dream house has about 4 of them sitting around in different
Just a big
nooks.
bidet.
Just a big fucking man bidet. But but no, I definitely agree with the shower move. My perfect shit includes 0 clothes, 0 toilet paper, and maybe a Nintendo Switch or a cell phone. Used to be a soap bottle.
I used to have a buddy who would take his guitar into the fucking bathroom. It's like, what are you doing in there for that long, man? You gonna fucking
I
learn
love
some
it.
song?
I told Ashley my man cave, my perfect man cave, is going to be one massive bathroom where I have a big screen and my Xbox and everything set up there with a couch and all my shit. But then no door, zone, right to an amazing throne and that. Now, if I have people over and we're chilling, obviously that's not the bathroom of choice. I'll have another bathroom that's located. But And I just saw one recently at my buddy's house. He's got a real big bathroom that's also his walk-in closet. So it's his master bath connected to his master bedroom, but also this master walk-in closet. So it's about 15 by 10 feet. It's big. And I walked in this bathroom. I'm like, holy shit, dude. He's got all his clothes on one zone. You walk.
Are you friends with Tim the Toolman Taylor or something? It sounds like fucking Home Improvement shit.
It's where we filmed Titties and Grits. It's at David's
that must
house.
Be his whole house. Yeah, that's sick.
We should have showed you more inside, but it's fucking sick. I love it, and that's where I came up with why would I separate two of the places I love to hang out, my man zone and the bathroom. I love showers and taking nice long 45-minute shits, just sitting there reading Calvin and Hobbes, dude. That's a go-to.
That's actually my dream. Is I don't care if my house is a fucking pile of dump, as long as my bathroom is like I want a nice heated floor, like you were saying.
Yeah,
that's my dream. Then you walk out of the bathroom, it's literally in shambles, but that doesn't matter.
Yeah, TV in the mirror.
Yeah,
that sounds nice.
Steam shower.
Well, Iggy's coming at us from his bathroom. Check that out, ladies and gentlemen.
This is live. Came bathroom.
He shits, he pours fucking plaster, and then he makes some art. It's beautiful.
Take a shit and then make some clay around it and throw it in the canal. It's a practice.
In the canal, you should take a shit, make a fucking jelly bean and throw it in your kiln, bro. That shit heats up perfectly. Throw a coat of wax on that bad boy, you got yourself a fucking prize.
Shout outs to Urbani. You can see the handmade penis-colored hoodie he's got.
Flesh tones.
The flesh
Nothing better than flesh tones, baby.
I saw some girl riding a bike yesterday. I'm like, is her ass out? No, that's just flesh tone. That's
idiot.
Flesh
I love when I see these idiots in these pants. I got to second guess if they're wearing pants.
Yeah. Look at that cottage cheese.
Good job, girls.
Well, good talking to you guys. Is there anything you'd like to say as a going away present?
Oh. Use your hands.
Use your hands. Save a forest.
Touch your face. Right now, you're going to want to touch your face.
Well, they put up a ban. They were warning everybody about eating ass. They said that you can really spread the disease from that. So I'm not joking about that. That's no joke.
Wow.
Really? People are eating ass at times like this?
They put out a warning in New York something about eating ass.
Folks. Kevin just heard the worldwide rumor that there's a disease called AIDS out there.
Yeah.
Stop eating ass with your dick.
COVID.
Getting some mud on the helmet there.
Can't talk like that. But what we can do is show you the tour dates from Kid Rock, baby.
20 years.
Doosh, no way. This isn't 20 years ago.
It says 20 year. It says 20th. What does that say? Oh, $20. Best night ever.
This is one of my top 5 concerts, dude. Kid Rock puts on a fucking show. I love him. Live, he gets me going, dude. Cocky, Bawa Da Ba, Dog
he's got about 4 songs. Yeah.
This hater. Yeah. This fucking hater. This guy gets
Speaking of Phish, remember when he was on Saturday Night Live and Trey from Phish played with him? Do you remember that?
I don't. That sounds pretty cool.
Oh, I'm gonna have to look that up.
It's weird. Like you wouldn't think Kid Rock and Trey were friends, but that was back in Trey's drug years, so they were probably getting all fucked up together.
I've seen Clapton.
Hell yeah, that shit was awesome.
I've seen B.B. King at Pine Knob. That was a great show. Who'd you not see besides Grateful Dead? Is there anybody that you remember you didn't see? I don't think I saw Tom Petty. I'm pretty sure I may have seen Tom Petty one time, but I don't know. I can't remember. I think I saw Wallflowers at Pine Knob, actually. Who do you wish you would have seen, Kevin?
Pink Floyd with Roger Waters.
Yeah, Pink Floyd. Good call.
I wouldn't have minded to see the Grateful Dead, even though those end years weren't like the most pristine music. But just for nostalgia purposes, it would have been nice to see Jerry play.
What about the Spice Girls?
Posh. It's a Spice World.
Just a good show. Just a good show.
I never seen Elton John. I want to see Elton John before I miss the opportunity. I really like to see him play piano live.
Him and Billy Joel, baby.
Ticket.
Billy Joel's different to me. Like, I don't know why I don't like Billy Joel as much. Elton just puts on, to me, more production quality show. I don't know. Maybe I'm way off, but like Bruce Springsteen doesn't do it for me either. I don't really ever need to see Bruce.
I'm not a fan of Bruce.
I don't need to see the New Jersey boy. What's the most girly concert you've ever been to, Hogan? You ever been to NSYNC or Backstreet Boys or?
No, I went to it was like I think Blink 182.
Blink
182. It was Blink 182, but it was like they were with a couple other bands. I can't remember the other band, but for people that are listening to this that aren't from Michigan, DT, which we refer to as Pie Knob, but DT would always in the summertime release a bunch of free concert tickets, and they just spread them out at, I don't even know, sometimes gas stations would have them or whatever. But I remember I grabbed a couple. It's fun to just go to an outdoor concert and hang out, but I remember leaving halfway through. It was too blinky for me.
Michael Jackson, there's one I wish I would have been able to see live. I would have loved to see Michael live. Kevin gets all swelled up. He really can't stand that pedophile.
I don't mind, man. I just don't know if we're allowed to listen to his music anymore or not.
Dude, now that he's dead and they never actually proved anything, it's almost more socially acceptable than when he was alive at the end. But it's like,
Well, do you watch Kevin Spacey movies? Is that okay? What the fuck?
Right, exactly. Anything produced by Harvey Weinstein. Yeah, take that off the list.
That's like all Tarantino movies.
He's got the virus now, Weinstein. This guy's trying his ass off.
Injected his ass with that.
I know. They go, we'll get you off of this charge. Dude, this guy looks like, during all these photos of his molestation or like in a robe or however they've caught these photos of Weinstein, he looks fine, right? Creepy old man. But now he's showing up to court with a walker and this dude looks like he's 102 the way his lawyer team has made him look.
Yeah.
They're trying everything.
You lose your job, man. You got no reason to live.
Fuck you. You're a billionaire. Go into some fucking seclusion. Get the fuck off our planet.
Right.
Yeah, I don't have any patience for that.
Well, Iggy looks like he's about to kill somebody, so I think that means to wrap it up.
Just all this Harvey Weinstein talk. Well, I guess you gotta talk about him like that.
Gets him real fired up.
He hates that shit.
I want to fuck something.
All right, kids. I'm going to sign off. Happy days. Thank you for featuring. Cheers.
Salute, baby. Love you both.
Look at that froze. All right. Have a good one.
God bless, dude.